We are Venom. Bring us chocolate and tater tots. You'll be rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. Holy shit! That is a red one! If you've seen the first two Venom movies, you know what I'm talking about. And you know why I'm saying that. Well, with Venom 3, or Venom The Last Stand, hitting theaters tomorrow, technically, though early showings tonight, which there will be a review hopefully up right after this about that film. I wanted to look back at why I love these films. Because it seems to me that people who call themselves real fans of Venom, they don't understand these films, and they have a hard time understanding why people love them, because it's like, no, this is not Venom. Venom has to be this, and Venom has to be this, and Venom has to be this. And I completely disagree. And this is coming from a guy. I love Venom. After Spider-Man, Venom is my favorite character. My favorite of the Spider-Man villains, anti-heroes, whatever you want to call them. I think, honestly, part of it, I love the idea of a evil version of Spider-Man, but not in the sense of like an evil Superman. You know, good versus evil with the same abilities meeting up. It's kind of like, for me, the idea of how much I love the Psycho Rangers, because it's the Power Rangers but evil and one-on-one combat. I'm getting off topic, but I love the character of Venom. I think he's awesome. I think he's so cool. I love his look, especially the original ones and the version that I originally got into, how I got into the character. And I really like the look of Venom in these films. But it always just kind of bugs me when fans are like, nope, that's not our Venom. That's totally wrong. You totally are missing the point of the character. So I thought I would take a couple minutes and try to, I'll say, change your minds or help you understand, if you're one of these fans, why. I don't want to say why you're wrong, because you're entitled to your opinion, but maybe help you understand why people like me who love this character still really enjoy these movies. So, for Fandom University, I guess this is Defending 101, the Venom films. So if I didn't make it clear in the opening, or you couldn't tell because of my shirt, or you couldn't tell because of that popcorn bucket back there, I love Venom. After Spider-Man, like I said, he's probably my favorite character from the Spider-Man comics, from the mythos. And that's just because of where I first saw him. The concept. I had no idea what this character was about. I saw him in the animated series in the 90s. I loved the look of him. I thought he was cool. We had Spider-Man up against a villain that at the time, I'm like, how is he going to beat this guy? He's exactly the same as him. He's stronger. And like I said, I loved the look of the suit. Now, one of the key things for me is I can love the 90s. I can love the comic book versions. I can love these movies because they're all different. I don't want to say it's quite a what if scenario, but it's a multiverse. You can like one version, but that doesn't mean that the other ones aren't good too. For me, it really all comes down to, as long as whatever form or whatever story you're telling, you keep the essence of who Venom is. You keep the core of who Venom is. I'll give you an example right here. With the Insomniac games, they changed a couple things about Venom in there that die-hard fans probably wouldn't like. But for me, I'm like, if it works, it works. If the story's good, that's all that's important. There's, like I said, there's a multiverse of Venoms. And frankly, I'm okay with all these different versions. Now, I will add, there are one or two times, and it's not Venom because I haven't seen one yet, but there are one or two times where maybe you do something with a character and I'm just like, okay, you're going too far with this character. I'm just gonna say a prime example right now for me is Harley Quinn from the new Joker movie. But we're not talking about that movie. So what is it about this movie that I love, and why do I love it? I want to touch on also the fact that there are a lot of people that originally said this movie or this series needed to be rated R. No, it didn't. It did not need to be rated R. Because I fell in love with the 90s version, the 90s animated version of this character. Do you think the animated show was going around? Or, if you're watching this, you probably watched this show too. Because I'm guessing you're a Spider-Man fan. Did we see blood in that show? Did we see or hear swear words in that show? I mean, heck, they even changed Carnage. Carnage didn't exactly kill people. I mean, he took their life essence in the episodes he was in, which basically was their way of saying, hey, he's killing everyone. And he was in prison for, if I remember the story, he was in prison and they did mention about him killing a couple people. So they changed a whole bunch of it. So to me, Venom never was rated R. It was never that graphic. Now, I mean, yeah, in the comics, yeah, they got violent at times. I mean, Carnage, yeah, they really went for it with Carnage. But I never felt like you needed it to be R. It could have been good, but seeing the final product, you really didn't need it. So that, for me, like I said, the first exposure was to the 90s Spider-Man, the 90s Venom. So for me, this was the type of Venom I was used to. And the movies, I also felt like they keep the core of the character. Now, you might completely disagree. You might say they totally changed the character. And before I saw the first movie, I might have agreed with you. Because I will admit, I was one of those people that's like, how do you do a Venom movie without Spider-Man? Just, how do you do it? And I was picky, and I was like, well, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. But I couldn't deny the movie was good. And I had a fun time, and I was laughing, and I was enjoying myself. And it looked great. And it had, like I said, it had the core of what the character was. You had Eddie, a disgruntled media guy, because we don't need news, we don't have a lot of newspapers anymore. So, you know, you make him part of the World Wide Web, you know, news videos. But you include aspects from the comics. I mean, they do mention about a little incident in New York, getting tossed out, getting fired. They don't never mention it. But if you're a comic book fan, you're like, oh, so Sydney there happened. Or something similar. The whole spaceship thing. Sure. You might be like, but that's not it. It's happens with Secret Wars. It's Battleworld. The 90s show came on a spaceship with John Jameson. You're going to tell me that did it poorly? The movements and just the way he jumped and the tentacles, they used the tentacles like webbing. He didn't have webbing. And I mean, that the fact that he wasn't bonded to Spider-Man first, it kind of makes sense. You want to have the ideas of webs, but you can't really just go and do webs because it doesn't really make sense. So he used the tentacles. He moved, he fought like Venom would. He had the two personalities. He had the symbiote move him. Now that was the one thing I was like, I mean, technically, the symbiote's supposed to move its host when they're sleeping. I mean, you have that in the original Spider-Man run in the comics. I mean, you could argue Venom might have done that, but every time where it's Venom taking control and Venom riding the bike, or, you know, playing the piano, or in the trailer for the new movie, uh, playing slots, that's all Venom controlling the body. Or in the second movie where he draws what he saw. So they kept that idea too of Venom taking control of Eddie or taking control of the host from time to time. I mean, they spread Easter eggs for this character throughout the entire film, through the whole franchise. I mean, he's funny too. There were plenty of moments throughout the comics I can think of that we probably laughed at. Like the classic cover with Venom holding Spider-Man's head and saying something like, "Spider-Man, I hardly knew thee. We hardly knew thee." That's actually amusing when you think about it. Maybe they went more comedic with these films, but it worked. I had fun. It made sense. You know, sure, you might not have the whole Eddie's angry. Eddie's angry, therefore the Venom symbiote can... They have a good symbiosis, so they're much better. They have a whole connection to hatred of Spider-Man. Well, yeah, but Eddie still has hatred, at least in the first one, for the Light Foundation. He kind of has a problem with his ex-fiancée because of the things that happened. But he caused all his own problems. Same thing as in the comics. It just worked for me. I mean, the costume itself, I loved the look of the costume. Sure, you don't have the big white spider on it, but do you really need it? I mean, this isn't Spider-Man. It's Venom. So no Spider-Man means no Spider-Man. And they did kind of give him the idea of a spider sense, I realized, by being like, "Don't open that door." I say he could sense that there was trouble coming. I mean, it even flows over him like the symbiote would, that you could see. I just feel like everything about these films, I think fans are too stuck on, this is Venom, there's no other version of Venom. Well, I hate to tell you, but there's plenty of versions of Venom. There's the comics, there's the multiple animated shows that he's appeared in. There's Spider-Man 3, which a lot of people don't talk about. There's these films, there's the games. I mean, he's changed over the entire run of the comic books. What's happening right now, I admit, I'm not a huge fan of it. I miss the old golden era of comics, especially when it comes to, you know, keeping characters, I don't want to say basic, because I love the idea of more symbiotes. But there's just something about these films that's just like, we're going to take you back, just relax. We're going to have fun with a superhero movie. It's crazy, it's insane, but it's a lot of fun. And that is ultimately what comics were. And that's what comics were supposed to be. Now I know I'm jumping around, and I apologize. I'm just trying to get all my thoughts out. But like I said, with the suit, I think it looks great. The eyes are great, the tongue. I love that giant tongue. And you do have the white that comes down, so you have ideas of, you know, like they said, it could become a spider at some point. But I just really feel like the diehards, they feel like their version is the only version. Now, yeah, I probably think that about some things. I know I do. But I like to think that I'm open to other possibilities, to other views. Sorry, I'm checking one note. Oh yeah. These films also, like I said, they have great humor in it. The action is stunning. The action does feel like it's out of a comic book. The performances. Tom Hardy is great as Venom. The banter back and forth between them. We never got that in the comics. I like that addition. They never really made it clear until, I guess, later, now that Venom has split off at times and been on Eddie at one point, and then the cat, and then his son, and showing that Venom could split off. We never really got that before. We get it now. We know Venom talks. We know that the symbiote talks to the host and he hears him in his head. It's great hearing that on screen. You know, I think it all depends on when stuff comes out. These movies now, they mix the idea of comedy and a lot of fun and being crazy and kooky with the idea of, well, what if maybe an alien did come? How would that actually feel? And people saying, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. Whatever, it's fun. And like I said, the main essence of the character is still there. I feel like if you are a true fan of Venom, you are open to other interpretations. You're open to other possibilities. And you'll really enjoy these movies. I mean, there's another one that comes to my mind. You've got Venom India to go with Spider-Man India. You've got Venom 2099 to go with, of course, Spider-Man 2099. So there's so many versions of this character. I just don't understand why this one people are like, that's not Venom. This is terrible. And again, people focus in on that R rating, that it is not R rated. The cartoons weren't R rated, and that's what made me fall in love with the character. That's the best version of Venom as far as I'm concerned. The 90s version, best version of Venom for me. Now, I did realize I mentioned some of these stuff a couple, like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, whenever Morbius and the second Venom film came out on a ranking. I mentioned some of this stuff, but I really wanted to get more in depth. I wanted to talk more about it and just talk as if we were talking one-on-one about these movies and this character. So I'll admit, this might not be the best video as far as any editing goes, or constantly talking about something and repeating myself. But it all comes back to this. I love Venom, and I love these movies, and I think they do the character justice. So, with that being said, let me know, what do you think about these Venom films? Are you one of the people that really hates them because they just don't do anything good for Venom? That is like, nope, this isn't my Venom. They totally ruined him. I don't know what they're talking about. And if you are, leave a comment. And don't be rude about it or mean, but leave a comment and help me understand why you're so focused on one version of Venom. If you love the movie, if you agree with me, drop a comment also. Maybe together we can help people understand our point of view a little bit better. There will be a review for Venom The Last Dance coming very shortly, hopefully right after this one uploads. But until next time, don't forget, like I said, to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, remember, read what you love, enjoy what you love, and let's all work for a better fandom. I'll see you next time. Hey, where's my food?